Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to go over the stats that is on your armor and which ones I think are the most important and what each stat can do. There are 3 stats that will do something else additionally according to what class you play. So starting from the top, we are going to talk about mobility. Mobility makes you move quicker and increases your jump height. The class that benefits from this stat while the other 2 classes don't are hunters. For hunters, your mobility will also decrease the cooldown of your class ability. The next stat is resilience. Resilience increases the amount of damage you can take before dying, increases shield capacity, reduces the amount of damage taken from enemies, and reduces the amount of damage you take when breaking out of stasis. The class that benefits from this stat are Titans, which also decreases the cooldown of your class ability. The next stat is Recovery. Recovery increases the speed at which you regain your lost health. Short and simple, but the class that benefits from this stat is Warlocks, which also decreases the cooldown of your class ability. The next stat is Discipline. Discipline decreases the cooldown time of your grenade abilities. The next stat is Intellect. Intellect decreases the cooldown time of your super. The final stat is Strength. Strength decreases the cooldown time of your melee abilities. So now that we know what each stat does, I'm going to list what stats are most important for me personally. In my opinion, I think resilience is a top priority for all of my classes, because getting reduced damage taken from enemies is just a huge benefit compared to what the other stats give. Next would have to be discipline for me, because I have some mods that revolve around my grenade right now, and grenades are also pretty strong. Next would be recovery, because regaining health quickly means you can be back out in the fight quicker, and it used to actually be my top stat, but ever since resilience got changed to include damage resistance, it has now been moved down to my 3rd spot on the list. Next would be intellect. Even though having your super more often does sound great, there are a lot of mods in the game that give you your super energy back, and also doing kinetic damage is supposed to help with gaining super energy from what I have heard. But since I'm throwing around grenades so much, and paired with the Ashes to Assets mod, I'm getting bonus super energy for enemies that I kill with grenades, and you get an even bigger amount back for killing orange and yellow barred enemies. Next would be mobility. I'm not huge on PvP, so this is why mobility isn't that big of a deal for me, unless I'm playing as a hunter. If I was playing a hunter, I would go resilience first, discipline second, and then try to add on some mobility wherever I can so I can get the class ability cooldown on top of that. I do know that some people in PvP absolutely prefer mobility, but I am not really knowledgeable in PvP, so you can go ahead and look some of the PvP guys up if you want to know more about mobility in PvP. Finally, at the bottom of the list is strength. Strength just doesn't have that much of an impact on me because I have exotics and builds that make me get my melee ability back quickly or instantly, except for my warlock, but I also make elemental wells on all of my characters, which on pickup already gives me energy back on all my abilities. So strength is just at the bottom for me, and I'm not looking for my strength or my melee abilities to do huge plays for me either. So stats have stats effectiveness and are split into tiers 1 through 10. So tier 1 being the weakest and tier 10 being the strongest. If you have one stat at 32, you are in tier 3. But what if you get another piece of armor and it's better and it goes up to 38? You would still be in the 3rd tier. There's no difference if you have a stat from 30 go up to 39 because they are still in the same range of the 3rd tier. So if you want to get to the 4th tier and get an upgrade to your stat effectiveness, you'll have to get at least 40 to get the benefit of the next tier. Once you reach 100 stat points, that is when the benefit from that stat is capped out, and bringing it higher than 100 will have no additional benefit. So armor can also be equipped with stat mods so that you can increase your stats even higher. If you still want to reach a certain tier, you can go into your armor, and there are going to be +5 stat mods and +10 stat mods. Although, depending on which stat you choose to increase, the cost of placing those mods on the armor slot will change for some stats. So intellect is 5 for the +10 and 2 for the +5, and then the next most expensive will be recovery with 2 and 4, and discipline, resilience, mobility are all 1 and 3. So armor can be upgraded to have up to 10 energy, and this is where you get to choose which mods will go on your armor based on the cost of the mods. You can see the cost of the mods on the top right corner of the mods. So I have the minor discipline mod, which is 1 energy, and then I have another mod that has 3, so that's 4, and then another 3, which is 7, and then another 3, which makes it 10. So I have maxed out all the slots on my armor for mods that I can put on. If you played Call of Duty and remember the pick 10 system, it is very similar to that. So I showed my rankings of the stats, and now it's up to you to decide which ones to go after. Personally, I would always go for 100 resilience if you plan on doing PvE stuff in the game, because the damage resistance is just too good to not have, and the tier 10 effectiveness of resilience gives you 40% damage reduction from enemy combatants. So I think resilience is probably the best stat in the game right now. If you found this video helpful, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for some more videos, and until then, I will see you in the next one.